Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, hear about a bond measure that would provide nearly $1 billion to Maricopa County's healthcare system. Learn about a tax scam that's built victims out of millions of dollars. And we'll have our monthly update of Southern Arizona issues. That's all next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Proposition 480 will be on the ballot in Maricopa County this November. The measure would provide $935 million for a new and expanded county hospital system. Here to talk about Prop 480 is Dr. Kevin Foster, the medical director of the Arizona Burn Center. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
What exactly does Prop 480 call for?
Well, as you said, Prop 480 does call for a new hospital. Our hospital system right now is comprised of a number of things, including a hospital that is 40 years old, is antiquated, and is obsolete. However, what Prop 480 really calls for, I think, goes beyond the hospital, and that's maintenance and advancement of programs that are critical to medical care in Maricopa County. That includes our Level 1 Trauma Center, the Arizona Burn Center, behavioral health, and physician training.
We got $571 million for the upgrade of the county hospital. We got a couple $100 million here to build this behavioral health facility and another 138 some odd million to renovate. Why are these changes needed? Why are they needed now?
Well, they're needed now because they've been needed for a long time. We've been operating on a shoestring budget for a very long time and operating in facilities that are, as I said, are old and antiquated. So the time is now for this. We have the second largest burn center in the United States. We have a very large behavioral health program, and we have a Level 1 Trauma Center that is second to none. So we really want to advance these programs.
And we should mention that there is no organized opposition to Prop 480. We would have the other side on, but the other side so far hasn't organized an opposition. There are some questions out there, though. Among the more philosophical questions, the future of medical care. Some are suggesting the future is steering patients away from hospitals, and thus this may not be needed. How would you respond to that?
Well, I think that's true. I think that trying to take care of patients as outpatients and avoiding long stays in hospitals is beneficial at a number of levels, and that's certainly something that we try to do. However, there are some types of care that just have to be done in facilities and in hospital systems. And certainly taking care of trauma patients, taking care of burn patients, and trying to take care of people with severe mental illnesses really require facilities in which to do that.
And there are some private hospitals that are expressing concern as well. I'll get to those in a second, but compare what the county does to we have so many private hospitals around the valley.
Right. So most private hospitals provide outstanding care, but they also have business plans. And what we have is patient care plans. And our critical mission, the focus of care at Maricopa, is to take care of the patient. And we tend to take care of patients that have no place else to go. That's our mission, and we want to continue that mission.
And that includes folks with Level 1 trauma, obviously.
Level 1 trauma.
And your burn center, that's a little bit different than private hospitals can handle?
It's a little bit different than private hospitals can handle because burn care is regionalized. It requires a tremendous mobilization of resources, personnel, materials in order to take care of a burn patient that's going to be in the hospital for 3 to 4 months. And that's what we do.
And same kind of situation with HIV patients, I would imagine.
That is exactly true, and we have a large HIV program.
So as far as the private hospitals, and I know that Abrazo and Banner and Scottsdale Lincoln, they've all come out saying, why don't we work some kind of public-private partnership? We've got extra beds, we've got available beds, maybe you could work something there.
Well, it's possible. However, as I said before, our focus is on taking care of the patients, and we're not as concerned with the bottom line or the bottom dollar. The other thing is that the number of beds that would be required to do what we do is astronomical, and the health system as it currently exists in Arizona just really does not have that capacity. We take care of 20,000 inpatients, 300,000 outpatients. That's a lot of people to take care of.
I was going to say, when people they think of the county hospital again, and they just think it's there, and it's always been there, and it's always going to be there. But what exactly? I talked about the difference between you and private hospitals. But again, what separates the county hospital, the county health care system, and why does it need an infusion of $1 billion?
So what makes county hospitals unique and safety net hospitals unique is that we take care of patients who don't have any place else to go. Patients who don't have funding or who are underfunded. Every major city, every large county in the United States has some sort of safety net hospital. And Maricopa is the safety net hospital for Arizona and for Maricopa County. And our mission is to care for patients that really don't have any other place to go.
And you know, when you mentioned the other hospitals, the private hospitals have a business plan, and obviously profit is the major motive there. Should there be more of a business plan when it comes to the county system?
Well, we are certainly responsible to the good citizens of Maricopa County, and we try to provide responsible medical care. But as I said before, at some point in time, you have to take care of the patient, and that's really what our focus is.
And so when people say this is an interesting measure, we'd like to support it, we'd like to see more transparency, find out a little bit more where the money is going. Is that a valid concern?
Absolutely, it's a valid concern. And I think that this process up to now and moving forward has been and will be completely transparent. We are a public government hospital, and we are beholden to the citizens of Maricopa County, and we want this to be as transparent as possible.
I know the Goldwater Institute is certainly against this, and they're saying that it could mean $1.4 billion in P&I and then property tax increases as such. Do you think, check that, explain why it is worth it for the citizens of Maricopa County to get this done?
So right now, Maricopa County Hospital and our MIHS system offers critical care that is not offered anyplace else. And we've already talked about the burn center and the trauma center and behavioral health. In addition, we train doctors for Arizona. We train 400 doctors every year, and the doctors that graduate from our programs stay in Arizona. 3/4 of them, 75%, stay in Arizona. There's already a physician shortage in Arizona. It's only going to get worse with time, and we are doing our very best to help with that. Now, the amount of money that we're asking for is not very much, $13 per $100,000 of property tax, and that is money that we haven't asked for a long, long time.
Are you surprised there's no organized opposition?
I am not.
You're not surprised?
No.
Because those in the know think this is really needed?
Absolutely.
All right. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
IRS held a press conference in Phoenix today to warn the public about a tax scam that's already hit 1,100 victims to the tune of $5 million. Bill Brunson of the IRS is here with more on this alarmingly successful phone scam. Good to see you again.
Ted, thank you for having the IRS on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Well, I was going to update that number.
Oh.
It's 1,200. The dollar amount of those individuals being bilked out is $5 million. Here in Arizona, we've seen 25 identified victims. About 250 calls have come in on this, and they've taken these 25 people for $80,000. So it's a terrible item that continues to happen, and we want folks not to fall for it.
Well, let's find out what they're not supposed to fall for. Describe the scam.
I call you and I say, Ted, I work for the IRS, and I really don't, and that you owe taxes, and you may or you may not, and that if you don't pay those taxes immediately by a prepaid debit card or wire transfer and get that money to me, I'm going to throw you in jail, or I'm going to deport you, or I'm going to take away your driver's license, or something else along those lines. These callers are very aggressive. They're individuals that know how to use an old tool, the telephone, but they spoof the caller ID so it comes across as if you're calling from the Internal Revenue Service.
Interesting.
They may threaten you at a later time saying that they're from the Motor Vehicle Division, and that caller ID will show Motor Vehicle Division. The key factor here is that if you owe money, the Internal Revenue Service will send you a notice in the mail. You'll get a formal billing. You won't get an unsolicited phone call saying you owe X amount, pay now.
Okay, I want to go through this step by step. First of all, you're told that you owe taxes. Again, will the IRS ever call you like this to tell you you owe taxes?
Not in this manner. Now, if we do say give you a call, it's going to be on something that you already are aware of and have had dealings with the Internal Revenue Service. So you may be getting a revenue officer calling you about a specific item that they need clarification on, or say an additional document if you have an audit going.
Okay.
But it's not going to be where you owe X and you need to pay with these prepaid debit cards. We're going to give you an option of payment plans. There are processes in place already.
Indeed, and again, they're told they must be paid, this tax must be paid immediately. Does the IRS emphasize immediate payment?
No. As a matter of fact, you as a taxpayer have certain rights, and you can refute any sort of bill that we have sent to you, but you're going to have to prove as to why you're correct. You can even go to tax court, where these folks aren't going to give you that opportunity. Right. They're demanding money now.
And that should be proof that it's not the IRS.
It's an indicator that yes.
And this business of these debit cards and the wire transfers, does the IRS ever use prepaid debit cards as way to repay back taxes?
No. Now, we do have a direct debit where you provide to us certain factors, such as your account number and a routing identifier. But that's something that you initiate,
right?
And you've done that willingly over a period of time once you find out your options for payment are.
And does the IRS ever ask for PIN numbers over the phone?
No, we will never ask for any sort of
passwords.
No, we will not. And if we get a call like that, please hang up. Don't engage. Don't provide them with any personal or financial information, because not only then you could be subject to, say, identity theft, which then could lead to, say, tax fraud for them filing a tax return in your name.
So what do you, besides hanging up, what do you do if you get contacted by one of these folks?
You want to contact the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. These are the folks that are in charge or looking at this very closely, and they will then take that information and use it in, say, shutting down these individuals and catching them and putting them in jail. So contact the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration.
How do you do that? Sounds foreboding. How do you give me
go to irs.gov, and it's available there. Treasury Inspector General does have their own website, and they do have a toll-free 800 number. If you go to their website, you can either provide the information in the form of, say, a questionnaire that they have, or you can call them and leave a message.
How do you know it's the IRS when the IRS really wants to contact you?
We're going to come across as an authentic agency. We won't, say, call you unexpectedly. We would send a notification up front first, and from there you would then, say, call a number on that particular form. You can always come into one of our offices and ask about a particular individual. And if you feel that somebody isn't from the IRS, don't engage with them. And you can call your local police department. We'd be happy to identify who we are to you with them there.
I guess that's true. Again, it sounds like the IRS is looking for a dialogue as opposed to what these folks are looking for, which is immediate satisfaction.
Exactly, exactly.
As far as scams are concerned, this among the more sophisticated you've seen out there?
It may not be the most sophisticated, but it definitely is working, which is bad. And it's very pervasive, so it seems like it's not going away.
And we're talking phone calls here, but what about emails and that kind of contact?
If you get an unsolicited email asking you for personal or financial information, that's bad news in itself. So anything that comes in unsolicited, whether it be across the phone or in your inbox, be wary and don't engage. If you feel that it is the IRS, wait a couple of days and then call us on our toll-free line or stop by one of our offices, and we'd be happy to go over your account and explain if there's anything going on or if you do owe.
All right. Well, good information. I hope folks are listening and paying attention out there and realizing that, you know, whatever they think of the IRS, they're not going to be coming after you saying, do it now, do it now. By the way, you have had no contact with us prior.
No, we don't work that way.
All right. Good to see you again.
Ted, thank you.
Each month we look at issues affecting the south side of our state in our series Southern Exposure. And here now is Jim Ninsel, senior writer for the Tucson Weekly. Welcome back.
Always a pleasure.
Good to hear, because we like having you here and we want to continue having you here. Let's start with having you here talking about Congressional District 2, Barber versus McSally. The race is on. How's it shaping up down there?
Big rematch in Congressional District 2 down there. Ron Barber and Martha McSally went at it in 2012, and one of the closest races in the country. She lost by only about 2,500 votes and has been very aggressive in getting her campaign off the ground for this year. Easily won with about 70% of the vote in the Republican primary last week, and this is going to be one of the closest watched races in the country, I think. You've got a district that is split 1/3 Democrat, 1/3 Republican, 1/3 Independent. So I think you'll see both candidates really trying to grab that middle ground and try to show that they're the ones who are going to work across the aisle and try to build bipartisan solutions to the challenges facing the country.
The shadow of Gabrielle Giffords, how much is that still a factor in that race?
It depends on who you talk to. I think that what you call the persuadable voters down there, the ones who you really have to win over, I don't think the Gabrielle Giffords factor has a lot to do with winning those voters over. And talking with the Barber campaign, they said that when they've done polling, that's not a big factor. Although you will see Gabby have a presence in the race. I understand her group, the Americans for Responsible Solutions, is going to be going up with ads, if they haven't already, in that district in support of Ron Barber.
Congressional District 1, which touches in southern Arizona as well. That's that massive district, half the state it seems. It's set now, Tobin versus Kirkpatrick. Thoughts?
Well, very difficult race for Andy Tobin there. They've been counting votes all since Election Day, and they finally, his opponent Gary Keeney, conceded in that Republican primary, and I think Andy Tobin comes out of that race without a lot of money. He had about 80 grand, and Ann Kirkpatrick had about $1.3 million as of early August in that campaign. So she definitely has a big advantage there, but you're going to see both the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and the National Republican Congressional Committee coming in and in fact already up on the air with ads attacking both those candidates. So I think we're going to see a lot of mudslinging, a lot of attacks about on Kirkpatrick's side. They'll be saying that she supports Obamacare and she voted to raise the debt limit and things of that nature, linking her to Nancy Pelosi. On the other side, you'll have Tobin facing attack ads about his cuts to education when he was Speaker of the House of Representatives here in Arizona. So I think Kirkpatrick probably has the advantage there. It's a slightly Democratic district, and she certainly has a financial advantage.
Statewide races, Democrats, common sense says Democrats have to win big in Tucson? How much stumping are we expecting to see from some of those statewide candidates?
Oh, I think you'll see a lot of them down there. We've already seen Fred Duvall was down last week opening up a Fred quarters and had a full house down there. And it's interesting to see. His message is all about education. And, you know, he's got Grant Woods, the former Republican Attorney General, chairing his campaign. So you're seeing a lot of crossover effort to reach out to Republicans and independents on the part of Fred Duvall. And the Ducey campaign was down there as well. A lot of Republican candidates to just swing through southern Arizona last week.
Before we leave the politics here, the leanings in southern Arizona, Cochise County, Pima County, Yuma County, Santa Cruz County, which direction? We think of Tucson area as Democratic, as somewhat liberal. What about those other areas?
Santa Cruz County, very Democratic county. That's the one where you'll find Nogales. And Cochise County tends to lean a little more Republican, and Yuma County tends to lean Democrat, although it's relatively close. So I'd say the southern part of the state leans more Democratic, but there are certainly Republican strongholds within that area.
And we've seen representation as such in the legislature from some of those Sierra Vista, Oro Valley, those kinds of areas.
Exactly.
Who was Charles Bowden?
Charles Bowden, a well-known author, you wrote a lot about the Southwest. I first encountered his work when I was a paper boy at the Tucson Citizen, folding the papers and seeing his byline in that now defunct newspaper. And he formed a magazine down in Tucson, City Magazine, and then went on to write a lot of books, starting out books about nature, but it was a very hard-boiled sort of approach to writing about nature, and more recently writing a lot about the drug war, the killings in Juarez and that sort of topic. Passed away just over the weekend down in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where he had recently relocated.
And I think you described him as environmental noir, which I thought was very well put, because it did hard-boiled, yes, kind of like the old school of journalists.
It certainly was a guy who really went out and got the story, the details of the story, the people behind the story. It was not nature writing as this sort of pleasant, sort of happy trees and things like that. It was a much more dark approach about mankind's impact on nature and how brutal nature could be, red in tooth and claw.
Same orbit as an Edward Abbey, Hunter S. Thompson, that sort of thing?
Exactly. In fact, he worked with Hunter Thompson on some books at one point, and was a friend of Edward Abbey as well. So certainly will be much missed down in southern Arizona. I'm talking with a lot of his colleagues. We're going to have a big tribute issue in the Tucson Weekly next week from folks who want to write and say goodbye to him.
Before we go, Linda Ronstadt apparently can't stop talking about Tucson. She can't stop being asked about Tucson, why she left Tucson to live in San Francisco. But I mean, she just goes after that town like crazy. What's going on with that?
Oh, I don't know why journalists keep bringing this up, but Linda does not pass up many opportunities to badmouth her hometown. It's changed a lot since Linda was at Tucson High and running away to California to launch her rock and roll career. And we're still very proud of Linda Ronstadt as a hometown rock and roll star. We don't have many celebrities in Tucson, Arizona, but I don't think she shares those feelings. She's off in San Francisco now, and doesn't seem to. It has changed a lot.
Well, and it has changed. She called the downtown architecture, the new architecture, similar to Stalinist Russia. Is she the only one who feels that way?
There may be others. I think that's a fairly harsh assessment of what downtown Tucson looks like these days. Downtown Tucson's on a great rebound right now. I certainly have a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the Ty Segall show at Hotel Congress this evening, and I think that I think that's an overly harsh assessment.
And she also mentioned car culture, very similar to living in Los Angeles. Goodness gracious! I mean, she needs to come to Phoenix for a while and see what we have to go through here. But the traffic in Tucson, is it getting more and more miserable?
It is not. When I was driving up here and seeing what was going on the interstate in the southerly direction, and we have nothing like that happening in Tucson. And, we just got our modern streetcar. People are riding it left and right. It's
and last question, we got about a minute left here. Do people in Phoenix? You have folks who do really don't care because they haven't been here long enough. And old timers lamenting the loss of the downtown as a focus, although the downtown is seeing a renaissance. Do people agree that, are there wistful folks, Tucson isn't what it used to be and I wish it were more like X as opposed to Y?
Of course there are. You know, there's always going to be people who lament the lack of old-fashioned barber shops and soda fountains in downtown Tucson. But really, the downtown is bouncing back in a way that we haven't seen it in decades in Tucson, Arizona. It's more lively than I've ever seen it in my lifetime. A lot of new restaurants, a lot of clubs opening up for live music. As I said, the Modern Streetcar is now running, which is bringing a lot of people who are I mean, that thing is jammed up on weekends. People are squeezing in every single spot they can on that. So I think there's some really great things going on right now.
Well, all right. Thanks for joining. Enjoy the show tonight.
I certainly will, and thank you for having me on.
All right, sounds good. Thursday on Arizona Horizon, we'll have the latest on the VA healthcare crisis, the latest on that, and we'll hear how humble CEOs are good for business. That's Thursday on Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.